And cheers on YouTube again. Okay, mastering. Yeah, let's cover this quickly. Right? I usually do videos in like 30 minutes, and I do stuff like in 30-minute blocks. But since I'm so rusty, since I've been away for a little bit, it's taking me a little while to get back into it. So I hope you won't mind that it's taking me a little bit longer to get things going. But first things first, we are going to cut out all the low end on the sides. We're doing the club mastering technique. Yes, we are. Let's turn you... What the frick did I do? Let's turn you back up. Okay, so we're taking out all of the low end on the sides. All of the low end needs to sit on the middle channel. I took out a little bit too much. Okay. There's also a little bump that I like to do at around 100. Oh my god, that low end. Oh boy, now it's coming through. I like to take out around 300 hertz because that's where a lot of the mud sits. Let's test it out with, so let's listen to this bit over here. So we got the verse, the chorus, the break, and the heavy riff. Right? The other thing is that we need to do our high shelf and do it again mid-side. So what am I doing? Okay, let me explain this for a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm taking out low-end information from the sides, thus ensuring that our low end is mono. This helps if you're going to listen to the song in a club, for example, or if you're just going to turn it up louder, right? Because your low-end information will stay in the center and will be consistent, yes? That is very, very important, especially since we're going to be compressing this pretty heavily, so we need as little unnecessary low-end information as we can get. Yeah, I might have gone a little bit overboard over here. It kind of feels really small right now because we're so used to having a lot of low-end information from our bass on the sides, actually. But hopefully, it'll be worth it. Let's see when we turn it up even louder what happens. So, the other thing, oh my god. No, there's going to be like 10K. The other thing is that it's going to be like 10K. There you go. Is that I want to boost the high-end information on the sides and take out a little bit from the mids. What this creates is basically a bit of stereo separation and a bit of wideness. Yeah. Now we send this straight smack dab into the compressor. We're going to use the red compressor. We're going to use my favorite setting. Oh my god, don't crash. Oh, we're good. Again, these Slate plugins. Steven Slate, I love your plugins. I can live without them, honestly. But what is this? What is this? Windows, 16-bit system, 64-bit, not 16, 64-bit system, right? I've got an i6, i5. I've got an i5, 6 cores. I've got 16 gigs of RAM. What is this? Why? Why do I have to go through this? Anyway, I'm going to start out with the setting called CLA Rock Drive. I don't know why I was looking over there. I tend to look over there as if the camera was over there, but you're actually over there. Hello. Anyway, so we're going to take out the auto release And we're gonna try to make it so that we use this compressor in a musical way where it's pumping with our music, yeah? Unfortunately, it's not reacting how I'd like it to react. So basically, this sort of mix bus compressor, what it should do is that it should react to your snare. Methinks my snare is not cutting through the mix enough because we forgot one crucial step in our drum sound, actually in the mix part. Sorry, and that is the parallel compression. Effect. You're gonna go into our drums bus. Right, and the parallel compression trick is basically we take a virtual mix rack, right, or whatever compressor you want to use, drum comp, and basically what we do is we send our, whatchamacallit, dude, where's my, oh, there it is. You basically send your kick, your snare, and whatever other elements. If you had like overheads and room mics, you might send a little bit of those too. But it's basically for your kick and your snare. And what you're doing, now bear in mind that we already did some wackiness in the sense that we already have a bit of parallel compression going on our main drum buses, like kick some and snare some. So we don't need to go overboard with this. We just need to blend it in. And what you do is that you take for example, I'll take a distressor because it's a very, very aggressive compressor. I'll say parallel nuke. I'll set this to 100%. And I'm going to send my kick and my snare into that. And I'm going to blend it in with our main drum sound to make sure that it's not overpowering, but at the same time that it's providing me a big boost to the aggressiveness and body of our kick and our snare. So let's turn it off. Let's take a little bit where our snare and our kick they're really struggling, yeah? Over here, for example. Let me turn this off. Let me show you the difference, yeah? I don't know if you heard that, but it's a huge difference in our drum sound. So I'm going to turn it off, and then I'm going to turn it on. There's your thump right there. Now, literally, our drums slap. Look at it. Oh, yeah. Now, I'm going pretty heavy-handed with this compressor. Usually, I don't like to do this much compression, especially when I like a song to be more dynamic. But we're squashing the living crap out of this song because I want it to be aggressive in your face and just demolish you. Where are we sitting right now with our peaks in terms of decibels? How much headroom do we have? This is very important because I like to have around 8, a bare minimum of 6 dBs to work with in terms of headroom. So you can see that over here. So this bit is actually way too loud, right? You can hear that, right? Like you can see it as well. It's overpowering anything I have in here. It's louder than the actual bit that comes in. So what we're going to do is we're actually going... We have to do this from the mix. We can't, there's no getting around it. Yeah, we have to make sure that this is quieter than the next bit, or else we're boned. To put it mildly. Okay, so these two need to get downtown. Right, our little clicks over here, our little kicks over here. They can stay the same actually. Right, you see we're still kind of too loud over here. I'm gonna turn that down a notch. Right, now we're starting to get there. We're starting to get there. Right, and our main riff synth also needs to shut the F up a little bit. Hold on. It's too much. It's too much, and you need to ramp up a little bit there. Yeah, now we're working. Now we're cooking with gas. That'll work for now. We're gonna adjust it as we go. Next step is the virtual mix rack. Oh no. Next step is actually feeding this into tape. Right, tape machines, great source of harmonic musical distortion. Warms up the sound, makes it sound less digital. And especially gets you out in a pinch if you're like me and you work exclusively in the box with like VSTs and plugins and just electronic and digital sort of instruments and effects. Yeah. Please don't crash. And I'm sure that just what I'm going through is not actually because of Slate themselves. I think it's just a sort of iLock authorization type thing through the cloud. I'm pretty sure. Because there's no reason why their plugins should be acting the way they are. Anyway, let's get back to our little bit that we were listening to and see how tape fares. Now, again, I don't want to push this too much in the red. We need to be very, very careful, yeah? Still want to give it a little bit of oomph, yeah? Okay, next thing is to feed this into a mix bus, right? Which emulates those virtual consoles. Again, great source of analog distortion. But before we do that, we need a trimmer before and a trimmer after so that we can check our levels. What I also like to use is the revival. And you know what? Since I'm feeling frisky this mix, I'm actually going to put in the CS lift a little bit as well. I'm going to bump these up just not too much. Just make sure that we're not messing up anything. Let's take our trim down. And again, I don't want this to clip. Yeah, we need to be in the sweet spot where it's almost in the red, but not quite. And you know what the funny thing is? If you look over here, you'll see that our volume is actually going a bit lower than what we had. We have more headroom now, but it sounds louder. How does that work, right? Just listen to this. I'm going to turn off this processing and then I'm going to turn it back on. It's a lot smoother and it feels like it's more in your face, yeah? Yeah, so let's keep listening. And now, after the virtual mix rack, what I also like to do is I like to do one final check with our frequency over here and just cut out some of the extreme highs, extreme lows, just a tad. And now, the mastering is not perfect. This is just a preliminary master and mix. But I think we should be pretty safe to bump this up. So again, volume warning. This time it's for realsies. I'm not messing around. I'm gonna turn it down in our. I'm gonna turn it down on my side, but you be sure that you aren't to set up too loud on your side either. Yeah. So that has been your warning right there. Let's set up our final compressor over here and you over here. You know what? Actually, since I want to use another compressor actually down the line. I want to use, there's like an emulation from Slate of a Shadow Hills compressor. This is the MU, I think. I think it emulates the Shadow Hills compressor. Either way, I want to use an instance of it as well to kind of pump a little bit more with it. And I'm going to use this compressor as well. That's 3 compressors on our sound, on our overall sound. It's very easy to mess this up, so be very, very careful if you use this technique. I'm not sure I'm using it properly, but we'll bloody see, won't we? As soon as the VST opens, and I hope it doesn't crash my system. Come on. Or my Cubase. Why is it doing this? Why is it moving so slowly? It really shouldn't. So I haven't used this one in a while. Let's see, before I go into my final thing, let's see what this does. Right, so I'm using this just to cut off a little bit more. Just as I'm pushing the input a little bit into it, and I'm not using makeup gain. Let's see how loud it is. Yeah, that should be fine. I'm gonna push actually a little bit of makeup gain so that I don't have to work this mastering thing too much. Okay, and I'm gonna turn it up loud as balls right now. Okay, so watch out for realsies. Guys, I'm not messing around. Okay, and let's listen to the song from the beginning. And let's adjust as we go. Oh, damn! That is bloody loud. right? So we're having some issues. You can hear that the low end is super, super overhyped, right? I mean, when the kick hits, oh my god, does it hit? Like you can just feel it, right? It's just like my eardrums just compressing a little bit. So that's very, very, it might be too much, right? Secondly, we're kind of hearing some distortion. So here's how we're gonna do it. I'm going to not gain it up that much. Actually, I was kind of over gaining because I'm gaining a little bit over here. And I'm gonna not rely too much on this compressor. And that should be okay. Let's see. Right, so we got some stray frequencies, we've got some distortion going. I'm tempted to say, even though the sound is not perfect, it captures the vibe right now that I want, and I want this to sound dirty and aggressive and digitally distorted and nasty. It's not very nice to listen to right now, I think, but I think it captures the spirit and the vibe and the sort of punk edge where it's like sort of underground and stuff like that. Now, we will clean this up, right? We will make it sound less underground and more polished. First of all, I haven't mixed the sound effects bits at all. All of this wackiness. Right? The drums, I think, are a bit too loud, and their low end is a bit too overhyped. So we need to do some cleanup work over there. But I don't know. Starting out, I feel that this is a good spot so far for the song. So cheers! Thank you so much for watching on YouTube.